Paige is back this year. So what is it like having somebody like her healthy again? You two have kind of been a duo for a few years now.
Our two-man game, I don't know.
It's good.
It's giving Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Welcome back to Sometimes I Hoop. Today, we've got Canada's finest on the pod. Quick humble brag about our star here. Big East Tournament MOP 2023, Big East Most Improved Player, 1,000 point scorer at UConn, Olympian for the Canadian basketball team, none other than UConn superstar Aaliyah Edwards. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you for having me.
So excited. So jumping into the current basketball landscape, you guys had a really tough non-conference schedule. Talking about NC State, UCLA, Texas, Notre Dame, the list just goes on. And then, so talk to me a little bit about that non-conference season. Your team, was there somebody that you guys were shocked by with their talent, or what was that non-conference schedule like?
I mean, our non-conference schedule was really tough, and it's nothing that we're not used to because, you know, playing here at UConn, we always be playing the top teams, and Coach, in the way that he is, he always wants to challenge us early in the season. So it was nothing that we weren't used to, but at the same time, it was a big challenge for us because internally, we were faced with a lot of things and injuries and a lot of stuff happening and not a lot of players available realistically. But I think that, you know, our first 3 losses, it was top 5 teams in the NCAA. So it really accredits to us not being ready, but at the same time pushing us early on out the gate so that we can be more successful down the road. So I think it was good for us.
Now you're into conference play, and you guys are rolling. Other conferences, you see the Pac-12, SEC, there's upsets every other day, but y'all are rolling 9-0 right now. So you're averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds. What's kind of that next big game you have circled on your calendar?
Obviously, our next big game would be South Carolina. It's another out-of-conference game for us. And as you said, like, we've been flowing and everything's working for us in our conference play. But don't get me wrong, like Big East, I feel like can be underrated at times. I think even last year we had 4 Big East teams go into the March Madness tournament, and it's a credit to how competitive our league is. But I think it's the style of play that's just really different than the other conferences. And even though we're not the biggest or most aggressive conference, I think that it's a lot of fundamental skill that gets displayed in the Big East, and it can be tough to guard and tough to play against at times. But next big upcoming game would be South Carolina for us, playing there. First time I'll be playing in South Carolina, and 18,000 fans, you know, that. Yeah. But that's women's basketball, though. We love to see it. So
you're completely right.
I love to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, playing in Columbia, let me tell you, it gets loud. And I know y'all about to have a good game, so it's gonna be loud. But I'm excited to watch. It'll be good.
Appreciate it.
But I mean, I think you're right. The Big East does have some sleeper teams year in and year out. Talking about Villanova, last year they had Maddie, but they reloaded this year again. And you have St. John's. You have a lot of top teams. So, I mean, what's kind of a sleeper team or maybe a sleeper player in the Big East that you're really impressed with so far this season?
One of the toughest teams that we played against so far probably would have to be Marquette. And I feel like they're not the biggest team, but they're just very, as I said, fundamentally skilled. And I think that everyone plays their role and plays their role beautifully. And it really complements each and every person on that team. So they're always tough to guard because they're running so many things. They have a lot of shooters, have a lot of tough physical people inside. But we're 2-0 with them, so I think that we're off to a great start for us. So.
For sure. Shout out Marquette, but you had to say you are 2-0, so y'all are doing great. UConn has always been a staple in women's basketball, and there's been some famous rivalries talking about Notre Dame and Tennessee and all these people. Who do you feel like nowadays is you guys' modern day rivalry, like a game you always have circled, somebody that you're always looking forward to?
I think I have to go back with the history and the footsteps that I'm following into. So it has to be definitely Tennessee. I think that going in to my sophomore year when we played at Tennessee, and that was kind of when it was just after COVID and they were able to bring in some more fans. So it wasn't filling up the whole arena, but it's still enough that I could hear, you know, the trash talk and hear the quote unquote hate that came from that whole Tennessee versus UConn dynamic, but I think that that's what people live for, and especially our alum and especially all of our supporters, that's what they come to watch and come to see and they've lived through. And I think that just kind of holding it and making sure that we play to a standard is really going to push the wave and make sure that we're stay dominant in that side.
Rivalries like that, the UConn Tennessee, the UConn Notre Dame, different things like that across the country nowadays, it's really what draws fans back every single season. Because, like you said, the quote unquote hate, there's legit hatred there. Like, there is everybody back, whether it be coaches or past players, fans, like, it's wild to step into. We're going to talk about a few different names that you played against this season. I want you to give me, you don't have to, like, give the UConn secrets of your scouting report, but you can
don't
you
get me in trouble now, Haley.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy, but like you can give us a quick scout about just kind of giving these certain players their flowers. I feel like don't get it enough. So we'll start off with NC State, Saniya Rivers. Give me something about her.
I will say that when we played her, for sure, she was just certified bucket. Like, definitely coming off the ball screen, can get to the hoop, can pull up. 3-level scorer for sure, and she really showed it to us. And I think that even though she may not get the limelight or the headlines every time, it's really about the little things that she does that really puts her team to the top. And I think that with each and every team, it's the player, the best player on the team is really who's doing the little things that help lead to the win at the end of the day. So I'll give her props and flowers for sure.
Yeah, she's a bucket. And I feel like transferring from South Carolina, she didn't have that role that she has now. So to see somebody like that really stick with it is really just props to them. Okay, our next person, Rickea Jackson, talking about that Tennessee rivalry. You know, it's hard to go beyond that rivalry, but we can give some flowers to her.
Absolutely. And it's funny, I actually did play Rickea when I was in high school, so I got to kind of see and battle against her before stepping into college. But she's just a dog, and I think that her passion and her motion for the game really comes into how she plays, and she uses to her advantage. I think that, I'm not going to say buckets on me, but she definitely operates very well in the high post game, and she can get to the rim, and I think that she's just a very sound offensive threat.
For sure. Yeah, she's a bucket. Like, everywhere on the court, she's a hard guard. She's a hard guard. And then last one, talking about a freshman, you played against Madison Booker at Texas this year, and she was not on my radar heading into the season. And I've watched some of her games. She's a bucket.
Right. I'm saying pull up every second, and her shot is so quick. I think she loves going left too. When we played against her, it was just left pull up every single time, every possession. I'm like, okay, freshie, we'll do you.
Yeah. I
Get
feel
your
like
buckets.
Even when you have on a scouting report and it's like, oh, left or right, like this percentage of the time, it's like,
they're
okay,
so
we'll stop
gonna get there.
But they're so good at doing it. It's so hard to stop. It's like, if I could, you think I would let them go that way? I'm really giving it what I have.
You think I'm not trying, or
exactly. What's the problem?
Yeah.
So horrible. But diving back into you, talking a little bit about kind of your upbringing in early hoops, grew up in Kingston, Ontario. How did you get into basketball? Who put the ball in your hands?
I would definitely say my brothers. I have 2 older brothers, and especially my oldest one. He was an assistant coach with my mom for my first club basketball team, and obviously having your mom and your brother as your coach can be tough, and it's not the easiest thing to go through. Exactly, it's not the easiest thing to go through, but it really helped me from a young age to kind of lay the foundation of how I am as a player and also how I am as a person, because not only did they help me be the player I am today, but also just be a great teammate. And I think that's one of the things that my mom made sure that we did for our team, is just be a great teammate first, and then everything else will fall into effect. So I think that definitely my brothers, they played college. My oldest brother, he was a Kobe fan. I'm a Kobe fan. We really bonded through basketball with watching Kobe and the Lakers. And that's why I have my hair the colors that I do. And so unfortunately my brother did pass away when I was 15, but I think that just living through him and living through what we've created, and our bond and our love for just Kobe and how competitive he was and just how gritty, and it was really his mindset more than anything. I know that people are going to say that may not have been the best teammate, but he, at the end of the day, he got it done, and it was really his competitiveness that pushed him over all the competition. So yeah.
You get to UConn, one of the historically best basketball programs in the country. Did you feel any type of pressure going in your freshman year, being like, creating a name for yourself? But beyond that, talking about the team, there's a certain standard that they have and a legacy that you're now joining. So is there, even just beyond that, like the forward position, you got Maya Moore, Stewie, Tina Charles.
Right.
What were your expectations, or what was your mindset heading into that freshman summer, freshman fall?
There's a UConn standard that coach and our team holds ourselves to. And even when you walk into the building, you're seeing all the greats on the wall and all the banners in the gym. It's a lot. But at the same time, like each and every practice, it was tough. It was intense. But it made you be a better basketball player at the end of the day. And I feel like every day I was challenged, and every day I got better, I got stronger. And I think my IQ wise, I grew in that aspect because all the pressure that we get in practice, it helps us in the games, and it does really carry over. So I think freshman year, in the beginning, yes, I was nervous like anybody else, but I came out thinking that I was the best player on the court. So that's how I played, and it was success for us. And I think that did well. But as I said, I do the little things, and it helped me grow and helped me develop my game.
Yeah. And you had an amazing freshman year. Big East, Sixth Woman of the Year. And then you guys go to the Final Four. Losing to Arizona that year, what do you think that did for the locker room, because it pushed you into another Final Four, which we'll talk about later, where we ended up meeting, whatever.
Yeah.
But going off that Final Four loss, how does that, kind of as a team, because you guys returned most of the players, you bring in Dorka, you bring in AZ, a lot of big players. How does that kind of propel you into that next summer of, working on that charisma, working on that chemistry, really locking into different things? What was that summer like after a tough Final Four loss?
It was tough, just because I think that obviously UConn, we've always been going to Final Fours and that type of expectation, but to actually get to the Final Four but not capitalize off of that, it really hit not only myself but the whole team. And I feel like, especially our freshman year, we were really pushing, and there was a great flow to our team, a great chemistry that we had between not only the first five but the second five. And I think we were really, really deep in my freshman year. But summer workouts, tough. Just the mindset was like, we know we can make it back there and do better.
Yeah.
And we did anything that we can to work towards that.
Yeah, going into that next season, that was kind of the last time you guys have been at full strength. Like, everybody was healthy. When did you realize, with that team, talking about that tough summer that you had, when did you realize that, you were a title contender? Like, not only could you guys have a great season, get back to the Final Four, but you have the firepower to actually get there and do something.
I think it wasn't until after we won the Big East Conference. And I feel like whenever you win the conference, you're just on a different level and a different vibe. And I think the whole team is like, okay, like, we can really, really do this. And as you said, that we were pretty much healthy at that point, and everybody was doing the role. Everyone was playing to their strengths and giving 150% at that point. So I think once we hit the tournament, we were just rolling. And it was all gas, no brakes. And it was good until the last game, but
yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. But it was all gas. Y'all were rolling that year for sure. And so we ended up meeting in the Final Four that year. You guys won. But talk a little bit about, going back to the Final Four. The Final Four, I always try to, like, people ask me how it is. It's really hard to explain. There's such an energy. There's such a vibe. Like, it's just a real experience. So talk to me a little bit about our game that led into the South Carolina final.
Coming into the Final Four when it's us and Stanford. And I believe it was the first time we played you guys as well. So it was tough because you guys had a lot of bucket getters. And when you step into a Final Four just atmosphere, you're thinking, okay, we can make it to the national championship game, but we have to win this game first. So you can't be thinking ahead too much. But no, it was tough. And, you guys had your fans, we had our fans. So it was just a great atmosphere. And but at the same time, it is a lot of outside noise that can get carried away of what your team goal is, which is to win and to do it effectively and to run the things that you guys want to do and execute your plays. So
leading into your first national championship appearance, which was for UConn, I want to say first time in 6 years playing South Carolina. I know the energy for that game was off the charts. And you played a lot of players who are now in the league doing amazing things. How tough was that game?
Man, it was so tough. So tough. I think, even before the game, obviously love Aaliyah Boston. It was like Aaliyah versus Aaliyah, and people were saying like Battle of the Braids, and it was like this whole thing off the court. And I'm like, girl, we're just here to play basketball. I'm trying to focus on the game, not other stuff. But no, being the dominant player that she is, and they're a big team, and we didn't have as much size at that time, and we knew that was going to be our disadvantage going into that game. But at the same time, it wasn't like we were thinking that we were 5 points behind going into the game. We were thinking like, let's attack them first. But we know that they're going to attack back, but we got to be able to, what's like our response going to be to when they attack us. And I think that it was a game of runs, a game of possessions. It was a tough game for sure, especially on the rebounding. They kicked our butts, but it was a good game for me to play in against personally, because like a lot is at stake. Anything that you do can be for you or be against you. So if you make a wrong decision, dribble into a double team, that's 5 points already. That's gone. and you think you can't be thinking about the last play, especially in the national championship game, because it's one and done. So it was a good learning experience for me for sure. But it's a tough game to play in.
It's tough. The Natty is tough, and losing in the Final Four, losing the Natty is really hard. Just because, like, not only it's the end of your season, but losing in a Natty, it's like the confetti's flying, and it's all you see on social media for the next year. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And so, talking about, it was a great game for you. How did that kind of influence your summer that you had? Because coming in your junior year, your game, you were already here, and it broke through to a whole nother level your junior year. It was really a breakout year, in my opinion, for you. But, what did you really focus on that off season? For your sophomore to junior year, you went from averaging 8 points a game to 16 and a half. So what were your focuses that led to you being able to have that breakout season?
For me, it was more about, I felt like I was very limited, especially in that national championship game. I felt like they took away the one thing I could do, which was basically get to the basket. So that off season, I was like, I need to be more of a versatile player. I need to be more of like a hybrid, like slasher, more like extend my game out to the perimeter, because I know that if they take away one thing, I can back it up with another gear. So that was kind of my mindset going in my off season, being able to have a shot, being also able to get to the rim and add different things in my bag as well, not just being able to do a layup, but being able to add footwork, be on balance, and all this type of stuff. So I knew that I could be better than what I showed in the national championship game, and that was really my motivator.
Yeah, well, I mean, girl, we saw it. You're backing it up. You're taking people off the bounce. You're doing X, Y, Z. I think, your scout definitely became a lot tougher for every opponent that had to play you. And so Paige is back this year. So what is it like having somebody like her healthy again? You two have kind of been a duo for a few years now, and now you're both out there for what's been a full season so far. So what has that been like having her back on the court for you?
Oh, it's been great. And I think that it's like a breath of fresh air, not only for myself, but for the team. And as we've been talking about, like with the injuries and everything, especially when someone like Paige goes down, who, everyone loves her as a teammate and everyone loves her on the court and off the court. It just brings like a black cloud over the team. But to have her back, it's like rainbows and sunshines and on the court, I'd be missing the dimes that she'd be giving me. So I'm glad to have her back. And I think it's just her passion for the game is really what drives her to be the great player that she is, but also helps us to be a great team. And she's really the backbone that helps us. And that's what I'm saying. Our two-man game, I don't know.
It's good.
It's giving Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, man, it's good. It's top notch for sure.
Yeah.
Talking about all the different weapons that you guys have, obviously somebody like Paige, who's amazing. You have yourself. You have a lot of great people. I think your two freshmen who are starting right now with KK and Ashlyn are kind of going under the radar in terms of top freshmen. They may not be having like these gaudy numbers or this and that, but they've been steady and they've been giving the team what you guys need. So, talk a little bit about what they've been able to bring to that team, both of them really stepping into roles that, who knows if they would have had these roles, injuries, they're stepping up with that next man mentality.
Absolutely. And I think that you could probably relate to this as well. Being a freshman and asked to even be in the starting lineup, even if it's for 1 minute, it is a lot. Especially when you come out for intros, you're like, oh, wait. I'm not just getting introduced. I have to go play a game. Right?
Yes.
So it's a lot. But I'm super proud of them because, as you said, maybe if things didn't go the way they did this season, they may have not been in the same position to be in the starting lineup or to be asked to do as much as they're doing right now. But I think that one of the things that I've been trying to tell them and they've been doing well with is just to play fearless. And I tell them that you're freshmen. It's your first year of college. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. It's okay to make mistakes, but you want to make less mistakes and more and more buckets more great plays. More good. Yes. Than the bad. But no, they're holding their own out there, and I think that it starts in practice. They're putting in the work in practice, and that's where the trust and we can build off of that in the games. And but I'm super proud of them. They're putting out maybe not as much big of the numbers as we're hearing with the other freshman class, but they're still putting out numbers and it's effective and they're efficient doing it. So
yeah, I think that they're playing their roles that they've been asked to play at the highest capability. Like you said, like they're freshmen, especially KK playing the point, like turnovers are bound to occur. But girl,
oh my gosh,
just give us a positive ratio. That's how I mean. Ashley, get your buckets. Like there's things you can figure out. I'm going to give you three items, and then you're going to tell me which one's got to go. So starting with easy, like a game day routine, you got pregame meal, you got shoot around, and you got warm-up music. Which one's got to go?
Shoot around, I'm sorry.
Yeah, duh, it's got to go.
I need to eat, and I need my music.
Shoot around always got to go. And then other thing, this is a big one for me and you, I already know. Bonnet, headband, or hair tie. Which one's going?
Because you already know, whenever I'm home or off the court, the bonnet
is on. I wear it so quick. In the car. Bonnet is on.
My hat, my winter hat, I have my bonnet under. So if you guys see that, that's what you know. Yeah.
I'm not finna get frizz from my beanie. Right. It's crazy.
Wow. I do love my headband too.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sacrifice the hair tie. We can go down.
Yeah, like the braids can tie it up somehow. That's There's ways to go about it. Moving into our last section here called the vibe check. It's going to be rapid fire questions. So I need you to do your best of going fast. Some people are great. Some people are horrible. Yeah. So I believe in you. It's gonna be great.
Let's try for like mid. Mid.
Yeah. Don't set the expectations too high. All right.
Yeah.
Game-winning shot or game-winning block?
I'm gonna go bucket.
Okay. Okay. Group TikTok or solo TikTok?
Ooh, I be killing the solo ones.
You do.
But the thing with the group ones, like if not everyone's on the same page, it may not be successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta get. I do a lot of dancing TikToks too, so I'm gonna say group ones because they're always funny. You always get a lot of good drafts with group ones.
Toughest place to play on the road?
I would say Tennessee, just because of the history and the rivalry.
It's on and popping
and
up
everything.
in there.
It is,
and that orange is bright.
It really is. It's a sea of orange, and I don't know if I like it.
Who's the biggest trash talker? It could be played against on your team. Biggest trash talker.
Maybe like let's think about the national championship game. When I was playing that game, I feel like just the whole South Carolina team, they were really just
the whole team was chirping.
Yeah.
Okay.
They was just honest. I wouldn't say it wasn't like trash talk. It was like healthy competition. But like if we were winning too, I would be like flexing and doing all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the biggest like game where I felt like, dang, like maybe I shouldn't say nothing bad. Just eat it a little bit.
I got you. You just gotta take some sometimes. It's all right.
Yeah.
Biggest flopper.
Oh, you want me to call somebody out now?
It's up to you. It's up to you. You can give us one on your team to not set you up if you have one in mind.
Maybe Nika.
Not her. Oh my gosh.
I feel like especially like me and her, we know how to draw the fouls really well. Yeah. I wouldn't call it flopping. I would say that we're really smart with how we're trying to. Yeah, a little bit. Gotta do a little acting. Yeah. Take a little hit at the same time. So
all right,
it works out.
Okay, what's your biggest basketball ick?
One of the things in practice, like we have a water bottle cart, so all of our water bottles are on the cart.
Yeah.
If he calls for a water break, I need space to like go and grab my water bottle. I don't want you guys just chilling drinking water right by the cart.
Yeah.
Like I need space to grab it and get out of there. So if you're taking too long by the cart, it's running into my water break time, and CD be
out of there.
It's not a full media timeout, so I don't need all that happening to me at the same time.
Exactly.
So that's one of my icks. Don't stand by the.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's horrible because water breaks aren't a sit down time. It's go get a sip. So why are you standing where my bottle is?
Right.
What are you doing? Ugh, that pisses me off. Or like, I don't know, we had water bottles, but we also had like the Gatorade. People want to Gatorade, take a sip, and then more. I'm like, you get one.
No.
You get one
done,
go.
Bro.
You get one go. Oh my God. Who's your celebrity lookalike?
Lookalike? Okay.
Yeah. Do we have one?
Hold on. I don't know if we do.
Okay.
We could probably say Aaliyah.
Oh, okay.
I think she cute too, so that's not a bad one.
Shout out Aaliyah. She cute too. Okay. I need a good one for this last one. Your best impersonation of Coach Gino.
Of Coach? Okay.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, let me move the mic a little bit. He'd be like,
okay, well, you need to talk us through it. This is a podcast. You can't just give face.
Okay. Yeah. But that's all he gives sometimes. There's no words.
He just gives like RBF. Is that what we're getting?
Yeah, a little bit. So okay, say I miss a layup, he'll like turn to the bench and turn to like our position coaches and be like, Jay, what is that? Is that what you've been teaching Aaliyah? I know she doesn't do that in practice. Why is she doing that in the game? And then he'll just like, yeah.
If I were the position coach, I'd be like, Aaliyah, I gotta hear it because of you. Get it together.
Right. No, I don't need this. I do get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I bet.
But I think that the face expression was way better. But
okay. Well, for the people who watch the pod, they'll get to see the face. So I appreciate that as well.
Watch it now that I've done the impression. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm helping you out at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Shout out you. You're done. But thank you so much for coming on. This has been nothing but a pleasure. You're amazing. I'm a big fan. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of you too. Keep killing it in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, jeez. Thank you to everybody so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of Sometimes I Hoop.